Melissa Sue Anderson was born on September 26, 1962 in Berkeley, California. She grew up in a loving home where her family supported her creative side, while also making sure she stayed grounded and focused on school. When her family moved to Los Angeles when she was young, Anderson got to see the entertainment world up close. People who look for talented kids notice her expressive face and natural ability to show emotions. This led to her starting work in TV commercials when she was still very young. Even in these early jobs, she had a serious quality that made her stand out from other child performers back then. Anderson soon moved from commercials to TV shows, appearing as a guest on popular programs like Bewitched and The Brady Bunch. These early roles were like practice for her, helping her learn discipline, how to be professional, and how to control her emotions. Unlike many child actors who just relied on being cute, Anderson showed she naturally understood characters and stories, proving she could handle more challenging dramatic roles. Her life changed completely in 1974 when she got the part of Mary Ingalls on Little House on the Prairie, the loved TV show based on Laura Ingalls Wilder's books about her own life. As the oldest daughter of Charles and Caroline Ingalls, played by Michael Landon and Karen Grassel, Anderson brought a thoughtful, quiet quality to Mary that really connected with viewers. Her acting gave emotional balance to the show, showing Mary as studious, responsible, and quietly sensitive, different from the lively Laura, played by Melissa Gilbert. Anderson's most powerful and memorable work on the show happened when her character lost her sight after getting very sick. The story could have easily become too dramatic, but Anderson handled the change with amazing control and realness. Her portrayal of Mary slowly going blind and dealing with the emotional pain afterward remains one of the most touching storylines in TV history. Through small changes in how she stood, her facial expressions, and how she spoke, Anderson showed grief, fear, and finally strength with remarkable maturity for someone still in her early teens. The role earned her praise from critics and an Emmy Award nomination, making her known as one of the best young actresses of her time. Despite how incredibly popular Little House on the Prairie was, Anderson never let the role take over who she was. She kept looking for challenging work, appearing in TV, movies, and dramatic projects that showed her range. Notably, she starred in the 1980 TV movie, Which Mother Is Mine, giving a powerful performance that earned her an Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actress in a drama or comedy special. The role proved she could carry emotionally complicated stories on her own, separate from the familiar character she played on the long-running series. As Anderson got older, she made the careful choice to step back from the nonstop pace of Hollywood. In the 1980s and 1990s, she worked carefully, appearing in projects like Happy Birthday to Me and various TV dramas. But she wasn't chasing fame or trying to stay in the spotlight. This time in her career showed a thoughtful shift, understanding that personal happiness and artistic honesty mattered more than being constantly visible. In 2010, Anderson officially became a Canadian citizen, starting a new part of her life while staying fondly connected to her past. Her occasional public appearances and interviews show a woman at peace with her decisions, grateful for her career, but not defined by it. In 2014, she helped write the memoir The Way I See It, a look back at my life on Little House, giving fans an honest, thoughtful, and often funny look at her experiences as a child star. The book was praised for its openness and emotional wisdom, further strengthening her legacy as someone who handled fame with thoughtfulness rather than nostalgia or anger. Throughout the 1990s, Melissa Sue Anderson made a careful and deeply personal choice that quietly changed her career. Rather than trying to stay constantly visible in Hollywood, she chose to put her family at the center of her life, spending most of her time and energy raising her children. Because of this, her on-screen appearances during this decade were carefully chosen and rare. Yet they showed a thoughtful balance between her responsibilities at home and her lasting love for acting. Even with working less, Anderson remained a familiar and respected presence on TV and in movies. She appeared in the series of Commish from 1993 to 1994, adding to her list of work in the world of ongoing TV dramas, and made a notable appearance on the revival of the classic mystery show Burke's Law in 1994. That same year, she brought her talents to animated stories from the Bible, music video, Volume 1, showing her versatility and willingness to be part of family-friendly and faith-based projects. In the years after that, She kept accepting carefully chosen roles, including the TV movie Seduced by Madness, the Diane Borchardt story in 1996, the disaster drama Earthquake in New York in 1998, and the series Partners in 1999. Each project was a reminder that while Anderson had stepped back in the spotlight, she hadn't given up her craft. As the new millennium started, Anderson marked a change with a return to TV in Thin Ice in 2000, playing the character Tanya Ferguson. The role, though small, represented a quiet continuation of her acting journey. Shortly after, she once again stepped away from the industry, this time for a long 5-year period, fully embracing life as a stay-at-home mother. During these years, she devoted herself to caring for her young children, choosing privacy and stability over the nonstop pace of Hollywood. In 2006, Anderson made a brief but memorable return to acting with her appearance as First Lady Megan Hollister in the TV miniseries 10.5 Apocalypse. The role put her back in front of audiences in a high-profile disaster story and showed her lasting screen presence. That same year, she also returned to film with an uncredited appearance in Crazy Eights, showing a renewed, though quiet connection to movies. Her occasional appearances continued in 2007 when she did an uncredited voice role as the mother in the TV movie Marco Polo. Though brief, the role showed her continued willingness to be part of projects that interested her regardless of billing or how prominent the role was. After several years away, Anderson came back once more in 2010 with a role in the short film Marker 187, reminding audiences of her quiet dedication to storytelling. This was followed by another uncredited appearance in 2014's Veronica Mars, where she played Stash's mother, a subtle nod to fans who recognized her instantly, even in a quick role. Her final on-screen appearance came with a cameo in The Con Is On, in which she appeared as guest number 2. The film got a limited release on May 4th, 2018, marking the closing chapter of a career defined not by constant exposure, but by thoughtful choices, personal priorities, and a lasting respect for the art of acting. Melissa Sue Anderson's later years in Hollywood stand as proof of a performer who understood that legacy isn't measured only by the number of roles played, but by the life lived beyond the camera. Melissa Sue Anderson's life away from the camera has been defined by lasting love, family devotion, and thoughtful choices that showed her values at every stage of adulthood. In 1990, she married TV writer and producer Michael Sloan, a creative partnership that quickly grew into a deeply rooted personal one. Their marriage stood as a quiet contrast to the instability so often seen with Hollywood relationships, marked instead by stability, mutual respect, and a shared commitment to both family and work. Together, Anderson and Sloan built a close-knit family, welcoming 2 children, their daughter Piper and their son Griffin, who became the true center of their lives. As her children grew, Anderson made careful decisions to put motherhood first, choosing a more private and grounded family life over the nonstop pace of the entertainment industry. This period showed another side of the former child star, a woman determined to give her children a sense of normalcy and security that she herself had rarely known growing up in the spotlight. In 2002, the family made a big and meaningful move, relocating from the United States to Montreal, Canada. The decision wasn't just about geography, but about their philosophy, showing a desire for a quieter, more balanced way of life. Canada offered the family a sense of cultural richness, privacy, and perspective, and over time, it became truly home. Their connection to the country was made official on Canada Day in 2007 when Anderson, Sloan, and their children proudly became naturalized Canadian citizens, embracing a new national identity, while carrying forward their own personal and professional histories. In later years, life brought changes, as it always does. Michael Sloan eventually lived in New York City, yet his bond with Anderson and their children remain an important chapter of her life story. On August 13th, 2025, Sloan passed away, marking the end of a marriage that had lasted decades and left a permanent mark on Anderson's personal journey. His death was not only the loss of a husband and father, but also of a creative mind whose work and partnership had shaped an era of television. For decades, the legacy of Little House on the Prairie has remained inseparable from the towering presence of Michael Landon, both as its creative force and as a beloved father figure Charles Ingalls. Yet behind the warm smiles and family values shown on screen, the reality of working under Landon's leadership was far more complex. Something Melissa Sue Anderson, who played Mary Ingalls, has only fully thought about later in life. Now at 63, Anderson has spoken with greater clarity and emotional honesty about what it truly meant to grow up professionally under Landon's influence. As a child actress dealing with fame at a young age, Anderson often found herself caught between admiration and emotional distance. Michael was incredibly charismatic, she recalled. He knew how to command a room, and when the cameras were rolling, he was absolutely magnetic. Landon's creative instincts shaped the series into a cultural phenomenon, but his intensity could be overwhelming, especially for younger cast members still finding their footing. Anderson has said that while Landon was a visionary, he wasn't always approachable. He wasn't someone you could easily talk to as a kid, she said. There was a wall there, and you felt it. One of the most defining moments of Anderson's career came when her character Mary went blind, a storyline that demanded emotional depth far beyond her years. The performance earned her an Emmy nomination, yet the experience left a lasting impression. That storyline changed everything for me, Anderson explained. It pushed me harder than anything I'd ever done, and Michael expected nothing less than perfection. While Landon supported strong performances, Anderson later realized that praise was rarely given openly. He believed the work should speak for itself, she said. At the time, I didn't understand how much pressure that put on a young actor. As Anderson got older, subtle tensions reportedly grew behind the scenes. She has suggested that Landon's attention often shifted, and favoritism could quietly affect relationships on set. You learned quickly where you stood, she admitted. It wasn't personal. It was just how Michael operated. Rather than confrontations, there was an unspoken understanding that Landon was firmly in control, creatively and emotionally. For Anderson, this dynamic led to a growing sense of isolation. I felt myself pulling back, she said, not because I didn't care, but because I needed to protect myself. In hindsight, Anderson views Landon with greater compassion and understanding. She has emphasized that his own pressures were huge, balancing acting, directing, producing, and carrying the weight of a hit series. Michael carried a lot on his shoulders, she reflected. He was responsible for everyone's livelihood, and that kind of pressure changes people. Time and distance have softened her perspective, allowing her to appreciate his brilliance without ignoring the emotional cost. He gave me an incredible opportunity, she acknowledged, but it came with lessons I didn't fully understand until much later. Today, Anderson speaks not with bitterness, but with calm honesty. She has made peace with her past and the complicated figure Landon represented in her life. I don't see him as a hero or villain, she said. I see him as a human being, talented, flawed, driven, and complicated. At 63, Anderson's truth isn't about exposing secrets, but about reclaiming her own story. I was a child doing the best I could in an adult world, she concluded. And now I finally understand that my experience mattered too.